Pozdrav ljudi.
Kod mene se niče. Moram ponovno.
Pozdrav, pozdrav. To je ova neprijatna tišina sad na početku dok ne krenu. I was just saying it's this unpleasant silence until we start, but okay. We have to push through that. Let's see how many people will join. Whoa, awesome. Great. We will just give like 1 or 2 minutes more to see if we'll have additional people in. In the meantime, please can you type in chat, that's a button below, if you're hearing me well and where you're from, just to see where are we coming from. If that is not a problem. For example, something like that. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, so we have a really international webinar. So great. Bukala, you're writing only to me, so, but okay. Okay, okay. I won't share that with everyone. So, lovely people, is everyone doing okay? Awesome, awesome. Okay, great. We'll slowly start just to manage to cover everything. So, dobro večer svima in Serbian and in English. And the reason I'm speaking in English currently is because we have a special guest here tonight with us in this webinar. He's getting like a mythical man status because I'm mentioning him to everyone, but nobody met him till now. Just welcome everyone. And I want to, God bless automatic recording. And because we have a couple of people that do not know me and that they are not from Serbia, I will just take like a minute or two to introduce myself. My name is Nenad and I'm coming from Serbia. My primary vocation is programmer, developer, but lately I speak less and less with machines and more with people. And I'm really passionate about helping people get to their IT job. And so that's something that binds together myself and our special guest. Okay, so we have additional people in. So because I don't want to spoil the introduction for our guest, I'll just let him introduce himself to you and to your lovely people. So JC, please click in and introduce yourself finally.
All right, so hello everybody, and I'm delighted, and thanks Nina for inviting me here to be able to have a quick discussion with everybody. I don't know if you want me to go into more of an introduction about myself straight away, or
Yeah, sure. I just want to say,
okay.
When we will covering a lot of topics, and if you have any questions, you just type in chat, preferably in English. If not in Serbian, then I will translate to JC. And if we have time at the end, we can just go through some questions. You clicking in and unmuting and asking questions. So I just want to let people know. So feel free to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be sharing my screen. So please let me know or put in the chat box if you can see it. And as Nenad said, well, unfortunately, I don't speak Serbian, but I do speak French or Spanish or English or maybe even a little bit of Polish. So if you know any of those languages, then you can also just please shout out. But if it's in Serbian, I'm gonna struggle there. Okay, so a little bit about myself. So my name is Juan Carlos, JC for short. Sometimes it's a bit complicated for non-Spanish speakers. And for the last 15 years, I've been working professionally, and most recently I've been working for Intel Corporation. It's a big IT company that I think many of you know about, do processors and many other things. And I'm in sales. I've been a sales director now for several years. Started out in sales back in Paris, and I was managing that team. Became Western Europe, and there was an opportunity to come over here to sunny Poland, near the Baltic. It's not like Cancun, but at least we've got the sea. And to build a team here. And, we've been building that team for the last 3 years. It's become a very big team now. It's over 140 people. And it's been really a nice journey. So, a couple of more things about me. So, as you can see, there are two pictures on the right. I'm obviously they're pyramids. But I want to put a little challenge, and I guess that we'll check with Nenad at the end. Maybe or maybe you don't know, but in Mexico there are actually, these pyramids are from different sort of groups. And if you're able to tell us on the chat who made that first pyramid and who made the second pyramid on the bottom, then we'll throw in a special bonus. And it wasn't the same ones. So usually people get it wrong here. And actually, I'll throw even a further bonus, which we can organize with Nenad, maybe some private sort of one-on-one. But on that first pyramid, specific period of the year, when the sun is hitting it in a specific way at a certain time, there is an effect that actually happens when you look down the stairs. So if anybody can name what effect and what you can actually see, then you're going to get a very, very special bonus. So again, stay here with the stuff that we're going to see. Don't go out to Wikipedia and Google and everything, because that's kind of cheating and it beats the purpose. But yeah, so I'll leave you those two things, and we'll chat on the chat box. And finally, for me, I've got a saying that I love, which is that if you really want it and you really work for it, then you can actually have it. And the three words that really define myself as a person, it's all about passion, tenacity, and determination. You got to keep on pushing through. Okay. So with that said, and as Nenad said, if there's any questions, then please just let me know. I'm going to be jumping into the main, topic of what we want to discuss. So, Nenad, we've been having many discussions, and I know that most of the audience right now, you're probably graduates or about to graduate. You're going to go into, into that new world of job hunting and making sure that that you're getting that job that you want. Like many others, like myself, probably you've been through years and years and years of hard work in university, or studying different things, and now once it's over, you want to make sure that you end up in a place that you wanted. So apart from preparing yourself and doing all the normal things that everybody does for an interview, what we want to share with you today are a couple of things that actually nobody really does. And if you can do them, then that's really going to set you apart. It's really going to set you apart. Now, before I jump in, Nenad?
I just wanted to say a couple of things. I totally agree with JC. That's the main purpose why we are organizing this webinar, because I'm asked a lot about the things that people can do to stand out of crowd, and usually I can give them advices. Most probably I'm a bit radical recently about saying people, okay, forget about your CV, just write a new one. But I'm aiming for technical side. Okay, you show what your technical skills, and because I've heard a lot of good quality knowledge from JC on his webinars and from his materials, so I didn't want to just curate that material and tell you. So that's the main reason we decided to do this kind of webinar, to bring JC here and to he tell his story and all those things, fantastic things that you can do. So we can proceed.
Okay, so firstly, a little bit about my own experience. So when I'm actually an industrial and systems engineer, and as I tell Nena jokingly, I actually did learn how to code. Apparently, it helps me with my Excel spreadsheets now. So that's as much as I can do, but at least I can put some formulas in there. But when I came out of university, I think that sometimes because of the peer pressure, whatever, that hey, everybody's getting a job, you need to get a job. I don't want to say I made a mistake, but I also went for the first thing that appealed to me, but it wasn't really what I wanted. So even though I had some very good opportunity in developing myself there, it was a pharmaceutical industry, and I worked for over 3 years. It wasn't for me. And I really thought that I had to do something different, because if not, I would be regretting it. So knowing that part of my family is French, I just decided to just leave everything and, handed off my notice. My boss was surprised. My family was also quite surprised, and, just sold everything and moved over to Europe. And this is where the fun started. Because suddenly you're just landing in a different country, different culture, different language, different everything. Nobody even knows the school that you went to. You have to speak in the local language, of course. If not, people won't even talk to you seriously. And I remember in the dorms that we had, we didn't even have internet there in my 8 square meter room. So I had to go every morning to the university and just be sitting there from probably 8 in the morning until 6 p.m. at night when they closed. And just trying to, put myself out there and apply for jobs. And so, what did I learn from there? I probably applied, I don't want to say thousands, but probably it wasn't that far off. I remember one day that I actually applied for up to 75 jobs. So, I got a lot of practice in applying for jobs and learning all of the different, websites and this and that and the cover letters. But at the end, there were many things that I know now, and now from actually interviewing a lot of professionals, that they would have made a massive, massive difference between just applying and having a very good CV versus having all that, but actually having something extra that not everybody has. And this is what we're going to take you through. So, the first thing, which seems a bit easy, and I think that this is common sense today with many of you, is the network. Your social networks, your personal networks, LinkedIn, and screening. So what does this mean? It means that tomorrow you're going to start applying for different positions. And if you're starting out, it's likely that, not necessarily 100%, but it's likely that you're going to be forming part of a team. And when you're a part of a team, then that means that there's usually other people that are performing a similar, or if not the same type of job, just focused on another thing. So it's very important that when you apply, you make sure that you have in mind what is the job description, the position that you're looking for, and you actually spend a little bit of time doing some analysis. Now, I'm pretty sure that everybody's on LinkedIn. I hope. If you are, maybe just, so everybody's on LinkedIn. So in there, you can actually start checking, right? I mean, if you put the company in a little search, you put the job, the script, the job title, pretty sure that you're going to end up finding a lot of people over there. And that's actually one of the first things that you can actually do. Engage. If you see somebody in there and say, hey, you can send them a quick message. I'm applying for this position. I see that you have a very similar role. Can we spend like 5 minutes together, or maybe a phone call? And you'll see that most of the people actually, they're very nice, and they're going to want to help. And what you're going to get out of that is a real further understanding of what the job really is. And that's one of the main differences, right? Because usually when you start and you go to the interviews, you go very prepared with everything that you know, just as everybody else. But when you actually go understanding even further what that job's about, makes you think and prepare, in anticipation a bit better. So, this is through LinkedIn, but I'm pretty sure that in the community that you have, you might know already of a lot of people that also have friends, that might have friends or relatives that work in that atmosphere. And, the world is small. So really try to reach out and try to get that knowledge. And on the screening, most of the companies today, they follow different steps of interviews. There are some that are, let's say, easy, that probably they'll interview you 3 times. And there are others that perhaps they'll interview you 5 times and make you do tests online and phone here and phone there and face-to-face, and it can be forever. But anyway, the key thing here is that when you're in that screening, that very initial screening, when somebody's calling you, oh, hey, are you busy? Can we talk to you? I'm talking about this particular job. And perfect, make sure that you do ask questions, because again, a lot of the times we think that it's the interviewer asking you the questions, but the interview goes both parts. And one of the things that I like to say all the time, and now that I've been having to hire a lot of people, is that the person that is interviewing, actually, they want somebody, right? It's not like, they're offering a job and then they don't want to hire anybody. No, actually, the moment that you're putting a job out is because you want somebody quite fast. And so people are sincerely interested. So make sure that you're also asking questions. The company's always going to try to make sure that they give a good impression as much as they can. And the questions that you should ask these screening is again, is this job, is it a part of a team? Are there other people with the same positions as I do? Is there anybody else in the organization that's performing something similar? And, they will most likely tell you. The moment that they tell you, well, again, you can go back, you can start researching, and you can start getting in touch. Again, this is critical, right? Because if you do this, you will get a very good advantage. Now, is there any questions before I move into the other point? Because everything links together. So that everybody gets this concept? So good?
Yeah.
All right.
I would just jump in just just for a second. Yeah, it's incredible. I can also witness the same thing. It took personally it took like 2 or 3 years to figure out the importance of networking and doing similar things, but it would those things were mostly like intuition stuff. I didn't have this kind of structure, which is really great, and I'm really talking about a lot to people that I'm working with about networks. So yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's that for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's essential. All right. So the next point is about those insights and the priorities and the goals. So why does it link to each other? Because whether you're, again, applying for a completely new job, or even if you're already working and you're applying for a new job, a promotion, whatever, it's these insights that you're going to get from these people that are going to help you understand exactly what you need to do, what should be the priorities, and what should be the goals, right? Again, imagine yourself that you are going for a job and there's another 10 people going exactly for the same job, and everybody's 100% prepared for themselves. They know their CV inside out. They've practiced all of the hundreds of thousands of questions and how to answer them. They're all very well skilled and all come from very good universities and backgrounds. That's fine. But if you, again, leveraged and managed to get some information about that specific person that you contacted that is probably working on the same team that you're applying for, and that person told you, well, this is exactly what I do every day. These are my targets. These are the missions. This is the way that we do it. This is what the typical day looks like. These are the high level priorities for this, quarter, or for the year, or for the project, or for the this or the that. That's going to give you so much insight. So much insight. And that can really be the difference between choosing one candidate versus the other. Because the moment that you get there, it's not just about the stuff that you know, but the stuff now that you know, and then how can you apply it into the job? And then you can show it directly into the interview. Say like, hey, this is from what I've heard. This is the impression that I have. And if it's based on this, then I already know that we have to do X, Y, Z, and I would contribute with X, Y, Z as well. So that's very important. For me, again, sitting now on the other side, as I've been interviewing a lot of people, there's been many candidates that actually do this, and you're so impressed. I mean, there was this one last candidate that we were getting on the team for. It's an operations team and everything, and she was using all the tools. I mean, she straight away came in and oh yeah, well, I see that you've been here and you've been there and you guys are doing this and this and that. So I say, well, so how do you know all that? Oh yeah, well, I've been checking on LinkedIn, and I was like okay, great. And keeping track of all the stuff that we were doing. And she did actually engage with some of the people in the team. So she already had a very good idea of what the job was going to be about and what were the main objectives. So, I mean, it just makes it so much easier, because then if you've got a couple of people and you say, hey, well, all these guys are very good and I'm pretty sure that they're all capable. But here you have one person that actually went the extra mile to try to get a bit more and show a bit more. It just makes it easier, because you can see that the person is a self-starter, is very proactive, and it's got a good attitude towards learning new things. So, again, make sure that when you do network, you try to obtain this information, and you don't have to obtain all the detail, right? It's really just about the very high level stuff, the goals. What are they doing? What's the objective? Why are they doing it? So that you can understand that before you get into that piece. Okay. And the last point, actually, once that you've had all of these 3 points here, is about building a plan. And this actually is the complete game changer. And at least it's been for me and for many people, and people that have actually shared this tip with me. In some interviews, you might get asked to produce a presentation or a project or something. but most of the times, people won't necessarily ask you for this. Now, you already have the contacts, you already have the insights and the goals and the priorities. So now if you take even one step forward and on your interview, you come here, with a 30-day plan, 90-day plan, 60-day plan in which you're going to outline, based on those objectives and those priorities that you discovered, what you would do in the first 30 days. So that means, okay, well, imagine yourself there. Well, firstly, I know that these are the objectives. So I'm going to make sure that I meet all the key stakeholders, that I understand all of the tools, that I get myself, really enrolled in whatever, the different projects, and I get to talk to all of the different people that are making the decisions, that I figure out what are the critical items that need to be done first. So, that's sort of like an idea of what you would put on a 30-day plan. And then as you go 60 days, 90 days, it's more, okay, once you've got that basic sort of sorted in 30 days, in 60 days, I would start actually working further onto the project that I have. In 90 days, this is like 3 months in, and usually most of I don't know how it is in Serbia, but in many countries, they usually have either like 3 months, 4 months probation or notice. So, it's a good period of time in which you say, well, after one full quarter, I would already be doing X, Y, Z. And, even if you print out just one single, slide with key points in there, or 2 maximum, you bring it with you to the interview. And, once the person, in front of you is interviewing you, you can also take a bit, of an opportunity with the questions that he's using, so you can bridge. And this is what we say. We bridge the conversation. So that means that if he's starting to ask you something particular about, I don't know, what do you think, or explain to me a situation in X, Y, Z, you can figure out how to get this in front of him and say, hey, by the way, based on the information that I gathered about the job, if I would come in and if I would be a successful candidate, well, here's my plan. This is what I would do in my first 80 days, what I would do in my 60 days, 90 days, and show them that you're actually ready to go. And that is really, what can make a massive difference between, again, yourself and if there are 10, 20 different people that are fighting for the same job. Because usually nobody's doing this. Like we said, a lot of people are preparing themselves for themselves pretty good. But in terms of understanding a bit more about what the job is about is what's missing. So, just by doing these simple things, it can really, really take you through and get you to a big advantage. So, with that said, what we were discussing with Nenad is, we definitely want to try to open this up and just really try to, have it more of an open forum. So if you've got, questions that you want us to go through in more detail on how you get this going, then, just let us know. So yes, Nenad. So I don't know if there's any questions.
Awesome stuff. I just want to say that this stuff, I consider myself experienced inside of industry, and I don't want to share how my first interview looked like, because it was a mess. But by pure serendipity, I got the job. So these things were new to me as well. So awesome stuff. And we have 2 questions from the same person. I don't know if she wants to click in to tell, or we can just read it from, what would you tell when they ask you, what are your expectations regarding salary? So
you want to take that? Or
I can give my view on that. If, for example, I hear a lot, especially for entry-level positions, there is some disconnect between the purpose of that questions. They're, from my experience or some experiences of some HR people, those questions are aimed to see how if you are overestimating or underestimating yourself. For example, entry-level jobs. So, but the problem in practice, it's like bargaining with entry-level positions. So, which in my perspective is not okay. So, usually between us, I use the technique never say the amount of money first. So let them speak first, the company. That's something that I use, and it works pretty much most of the time. But yeah, so that's my point on that. That's a little bit disconnect between the purpose of that question and the practice. So JC, please take over and share your point.
Yeah, so I think that, yeah, definitely, I fully agree with you, and there's a couple of ways that the situation can be seen. I think if you are let's say in a country in which there's a big demand, but there is not enough supply, you have to realize that. And I think that that puts the cards a bit more on your favor. What I've seen many times when I was asked this question, and when I'm asking this question from an employer's point of view, it's also because they want to sort of sense check what's going on in the market. I think today there are many websites out there that can show you what is the average sort of salary for the position that you're looking for. I'm pretty sure that you can find them. But I think at the end, what Nenan is saying is good advice. And I would also, leave that question more into the later stages. Unfortunately, sometimes you might have people from staffing that are not the ones that are making the decision, that when they ask you these questions, they already sort of make the decision even before, let's say, your CV gets passed over to the main people that are hiring. And because the staffing consultants and HR, they're not necessarily in the detail, you might end up saying, I don't know, a big number because you wanted to negotiate aggressively. And for them, what they say is, oh, well, these are the parameters that I have, so this doesn't fall in. So basically, I'm just going to, take it off, and I'm not going to push the CV forward. So again, back to Nenet's point, I think in the beginning, you have to probably play your cards a bit closer to your chest. And the moment that you get into the later stages of the interview, that's a good moment to start checking. And, usually once you get into the last stages and, now they're asking you for what you want, on the last stages, it's like a funnel, right? It's like a funnel. You have a lot of candidates at the top, and then, it just continues to drip down. So usually the people that get into the later stages, it's people that already been interviewed by several, they've made conscious decisions, and they want the person to start. So now you've got the advantage on that negotiation. So, if you play it right, then you can make sure that you do something correctly, because it's at that stage that employers do not want to lose out. Being on both ends of the seat, and most recently on the other one, if it comes to a moment in which you want somebody and you say, yes, this person is excellent, it's got the right skills, that person can start tomorrow, and suddenly, there's something that's not working with the salary, and because, you couldn't make it, you lose it, it's such a struggle, because you almost have to start all over again. And at the end, that's time that you're not having somebody. So again, I think keep stuff close to your chest in the beginning, but in the later stages, do realize that you have to you have the ability to try to, make sure that you get what you're actually are valued for.
Yeah, awesome. So I would argue also that if you implement three things that we discussed here today, you will be much better candidate, right? So you will be at better starting position when it comes to negotiating your salary as someone proactive and doing things in the right way. And also, I don't know, there is a additional question, like continuation of the same question, or how often does it happen that company actually tells you, okay, the amount we offer is this? From my experience, I was in such situations. There are companies, more and more companies, from my view, here in Serbia, that are doing programming that are just really open and saying, like in job offering, okay, this is what candidate needs to have, and the range of salaries between this and this, depending on your skill or whatever. So yeah, and yeah, it happens. It happens in programming world. I don't know about other industries. I don't know. And I was also in some situations, like JC mentioned, if we see that we are a match, company and candidate, that, okay, let's find common ground. Okay, it's maybe a little bit less than I expected. It's a little bit more than they expected to pay, but we find a way because we see that we are such a good match for each other. And again, I'm always looking forward to that, looking to that principle. Let them speak first, because, for example, they ask you, what do you think? What salary is okay for you? And they are anticipating they may be willing to pay, I don't know, 1,000 euros per month. And you say, I don't know, maybe 500. And they just keep their poker face and just keep this moment for themselves. Okay, we think that could be doable for us. So, it's just throwing the ball in their court. So sorry, JC, for busting companies' side.
No, but it's good, and you know what? I think that's the these are some of the questions actually that you can also ask in the beginning, right? Either when on the first screening, you can ask the person that's screening, hey, what's the salary range that you're offering for these type of positions from starting point, So the moment that they're calling you, you already have an idea, and most of the times they'll tell you, by the way. And again, if you're contacting somebody that's already in the job, depending on how you manage to answer to ask the question, I'm pretty sure that person can give you like a range of, it should be between this and that, right? So that also helps.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, for some reason we all have a strange relationship with money. So it's even when we start our career. So it's okay to speak about job, about what needs to be done and everything else. But when it comes to salaries, raises and everything else, we're all like a little bit cramped. So some companies use that, unfortunately. So to position you a bit lower on their pay role. So yeah, for me, it's if we can negotiate about what needs to be done as job, why wouldn't we open and talk about money, the ranges that JC mentioned and everything else? It's it's common part of job. So yeah.
I think just the last thing that I'll say on that is that companies really want top quality, and they will do the extra, go the extra mile to get that top quality. They will, as Nenad said, most of the times there's always some room for negotiation. Again, when somebody is putting a job out there, it's because they have a need, and if you manage to get into that later stage, and you're showing all your quality, and you actually took in all the advice that Nenad is providing you, you do some of this stuff that we're showing here today, people will see, wow, I mean, this person is definitely the right person that we want. and they will not want to to let you go that easily. So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, awesome. So we are close to 40-minute mark. If there are no any further questions, I would might do a recap of everything, because let's be honest, in the process of getting the job, there are a lot of things involved. Those three things, we kept only three things today because it fits well in this webinar format regarding time and everything else. But there are a lot of things that we can discuss as well. Some of those things are considered basic, but still people miss them by a mile, about how to put together your CV and how to dress up and everything else, why to do some things, to prepare 60-second pitch or something like that, that is basically is also really knowledgeable about. And some of those things were even new for me, but they completely make sense. Okay, so most probably we will tend to continue working on this, like webinars, joint webinars, so we can share some knowledge and potentially give value to people. So if there are no further questions, I will hand over the talk to JC, so he can create a recap of everything we heard tonight.
Okay. Yeah, and by the way, I was just looking at the chat, so it seems like they almost got it right between Magdalena and Vedran. Really, Magdalena and Vedran and Bukela.
Yeah.
So I'm almost right. There's one out of the two is right. And it's good that you didn't use Wikipedia, but the one in the bottom is actually Aztec.
Oh.
Inca is actually even further down south in South America, but Chichen Itza is right, so that's good. We'll have a chat with Nena to figure out what we give the lucky winners. But yeah, so I mean, just in recap, so there's these it's just one basic concept, really, right? Again, remember, you're going to go in, and for any particular job, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be the only one that's actually applying for it. There's going to be many. So apart from your quality and your preparation on yourself, one of the major differences that actually you can provide is if you prepare and you do a bit more analysis, a bit more digging, you reach out, you show proactiveness, and you come even more prepared, understanding what the job is about, understanding what the priorities are about, the goals, you've reached out, and you come up with your plan, even if it's, like I said, one paper, one foil, whatever, your plan on what you would do. This, again, not everybody does it. You do it. It's not just the fact that you're presenting something, but it's the fact that, for the person that interviews you, is that, you were proactive, you were self-starter, you're motivated, you want the job, you already have a good idea. Actually, you might end up saying, hey, I know already pretty much most of the team anyway. So, even going in there, it's gonna feel like home already, because I know them when we're, on Facebook all day or whatever. So, take the time to do that. It doesn't take a lot of time. And the advantage that it might bring you can be really, really big. So that's for me, Nenan.
Yeah, awesome. So I just want to say I'm currently running on a small project, and some of people here present are part of that project, which is really nice because it's part of their homework, and I'm really glad to see them here. And yeah, those are the ones that actually get one pyramid right. And Bukila was also in my programming course, so I'm so proud of you guys that you have that knowledge. And in part of my project, in cooperation with JC, all people will have unique opportunity to speak with him one-on-one and get a chance to pick his brain about all these things, CVs and every preparing for their big job. So I'm really glad for them. For the rest of you, I'm so sorry. Close doors for now, but JC, please tell people how they can reach you if they want. You have a website, right, with a lot of free material, so they can just find out.
So I'm gonna put the the website on the chat. But again, it's a lot of the stuff that I spoke about here today. I went into a bit more detail. So go in. There's a lot of free value access stuff. And yeah, we'll be announcing with Nenad any other webinars that we might be doing and any other collaboration. But definitely just go in. There's a lot more valuable stuff in there. So feel free to go and explore.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So yeah, you just share the website, and we will share it in the event, so you can go there and subscribe to all content that JC will be producing in future, and most probably we will do more and more collaborative stuff. So yeah, that's that for tonight. I hope you got some value from this. I will put the recording on Facebook of this webinar, and yeah, that's it from our side. So if there is no any questions, comments, and anything else, I wish you a nice evening, and we will see each other sometime soon. Who knows? Maybe we see each other in person soon. Okay, so stay safe, everyone, and see you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.